Hello guys, welcome back to BoreDraw, episode number 71. And in this episode we are going to be talking about
an 8-goal thriller. Football. What did they say? Pure Barclays.
Pure Barclays Premier League. One normal day of Barclays is all we ask for. We're also going to be taking a little look at how the title race is shaping up because, boy, I think we might have a title race.
It do be cooking until international break comes around and ruins it all.
But yeah, let's kick it off straight away by talking about the match that happened at Stamford Bridge. We had Chelsea 4 Manchester City.
What a game.
Who would have thought it? Chelsea, who've been absolutely stinky this season, have been in back-to-back games, the most entertaining games in the Premier League this season.
Two best games of the season. And
maybe
it was
two of the best games of all time, or in recent memory anyway.
Let's go. It was mad though, because we did a video when they dropped an absolute barnstormer against Arsenal. We were like, are Chelsea back? Straight after that, they got pumped by Brentford 3-0. And we were like, no, they're not back. And then they beat Spurs 4-1. But if you scratch beneath the surface a little bit, they were shit. Mm-hmm. But then they'll go straight into the next game against Man City, best team in the league, best team in the world, and go toe-to-toe, and in my opinion, look like the better team.
Yeah, for me, they were the better team. They were on the front foot more. They were this team asking more questions. Man City looked slow and sluggish, and we'll get onto them in a little bit. But yeah, for me, Chelsea are a weird one. Just taking them outside the context of this game anyway.
Yeah. In
a more general view, they're so up and down. Obviously, they had a whole, I think it was like October, where they scored 1 goal.
Yeah.
Then they went and smashed 3 in past Spurs. And then, or how many of them was it? Like 5 or whatever.
What, against Spurs?
What, they beat Spurs 4-1?
4-1, yeah.
4-1. And then they get 4 against City. And they started to find their feet in terms of scoring goals now.
I saw a stat, and I might be remembering this wrong. Against the Big Six, like the proper Big Six, whoever you want to call them, they've scored 11 goals this season, and then against the other 14 teams in the league, they've scored 8.
Yeah, it's kind of...
That's wild.
It's mad. And their performances against Liverpool, they were good at the beginning of the season. Mm-hmm. And it was a 2-2 draw.
Yeah.
Then they drew 2-2 against Arsenal.
They did.
They beat Spurs. They've got a draw against Man City. They're performing to the level of the opponent.
The Big Six, yeah, they're always up for a game. It's just, I think... it's their lack of ability to break down a low block team.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's killing them.
The teams that they beat are the ones they can get in behind.
Yeah.
And for me, one player I want to highlight is Raheem Sterling.
What a guy.
We're going to do a video about Gareth Southgate and the England squad coming out on Friday, so stick around for that. But Raheem Sterling, for me, is a worthy contender for that right wing or left wing spot in the England team.
100%, especially with Rashford, who scored 1 goal all season and is in a Man United team that are stinking it up. And Jack Grealish, who's not getting half the amount of game time he had last season. So, apart from Raz, I can't really think of anybody else.
Yeah, that's exactly it for me. And another man who potentially could play there, although probably more suited to the right wing or number 10 role, is Cole Palmer.
What guy.
He is that guy.
He is. I think we said this on the pod a few times. I was unsure about the signing. Didn't know that he had it in him to get straight into a turbulent Chelsea squad.
He left the comfort and security of Man City trophies.
Yeah.
To do what maybe Raza wanted to do, which was become the main man.
Yeah, he's jumped in.
He's a young guy, and he's coming. Was it last week against Spurs? He took the ball off Raheem Sterling to take the penalty.
To take the pen. Yeah,
that's Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, it's testament to him. He's got bollocks, mate, and he's that guy.
Putting him away. For me, it might be controversial to say this, but is he having a better season than Phil Foden?
100%. I want to talk about Phil Foden, but we'll get onto that after. Yeah, so let's run through this game. Chelsea come out the blocks firing. In my opinion, the better team, like you're saying. Raz on it against his old team. I think this was always going to be a hard game for Man City because there's a lot of players in that Chelsea team got a point to prove. Cucurella fell through that Man City move, meant to Chelsea, everybody's on his case. He had a good game. Raz left Man City, he had a good game. Cole Palmer had a good game. Caicedo, £100 million move that hasn't really kicked off yet. He had a good game. So there was a lot of players that I was thinking they got a point to prove, and like we said, against the Big Six, this team turns up. So Chelsea started off the better team, but then Cucurella at the back post pulls down Erling Haaland. I've seen a lot of people say that this isn't a penalty. Well, where do you stand?
It was a little bit up in the air for me because the on-field decision was given as a penalty, I believe. And the VAR looked at it and they looked at the pull from Cucurella on Haaland. But if you look before that, Haaland pulls past Cucurella.
Yeah.
That's how he gets in front of him.
Yeah.
So for me, it's half a dozen of one.
That's
or
what
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yeah, that's what Jamie Carragher said.
So I think the on-field decision is correct. Like, if you're the defender, you definitely can't be doing that.
Yeah.
We know the attackers will do it, and I know it's all about the fair play, but the benefit's always going to be given to the attacker on field.
Yeah.
For me, it's not a clear and obvious decision. This is what VAR's for.
Yeah.
It wasn't clear and obvious. I think the on-field decision is fine. I think, fine for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a penalty. But I'm seeing a lot of non-Man City fans say that Man City are the only team that get fouls like that. I don't know how much to read into that. I haven't done my research. But the 2 tackles I can think of that happened in the Man City-Man United game when Højlund pulled down Rodri. I think he pulled Rodri down in the box. And it was kind of very similar that, like, it seems to only happen to Man City. But that's neither here nor there. Haaland puts away the penalty. Straight after, a 39-year-old Thiago Silva scores a header to make it 1-1.
How is he still doing it?
Guy is different. And I know I don't know if he's planning to stay at Chelsea long term, but how is he not their captain? The guy just reeks of class and
I think he's
captaincy.
Everything that Man United want Varane to be.
Yeah.
But
He's
I rate him, man.
I think
he has, like you say, so much class. He reads the game so well, and he knows he hasn't got the pace, but he makes up for it. Like his longevity cannot be understated. He's such a top player.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he sticks around for another season. I know for me, even when Chelsea is struggling, he's been one of them solid players.
Yeah, he's just a kind of calm guy to have around.
Yeah, Reece James was back as well, which was interesting. Taking Malagusto's spot sort of after recovering from a series of consecutive injuries. And I thought he had a decent game.
I thought he had a decent game. I had my eye on him because he, along with a couple of other players, I'm like, you're getting a lot of plaudits for not being very good. So I watched him closely, and he did have Doku in his pocket. And I see a lot of people say, that's another person that Reece James is pocketed. Don't know about that one. But Reece James, when he's flying, I don't think there's many better right backs in the league.
On his day, and if he reached his peak potential, he's the best right back in the world for me. I think he's more completed than like a Hakimi. He's definitely more complete of a player than Trent.
Yeah.
Not as good. He doesn't have the passing range or the delivery of Trent, but
it's close enough, yeah.
I think genuinely he is the best footballer at Chelsea.
Ooh, I don't know.
The most well-rounded footballer at Chelsea. Is there anyone who can be... I know his physicality sort of lets him down because he breaks down every like 22 minutes.
Yeah.
But physically, he's a unit. He's quick. He's got fantastic crossing. He's got fantastic passing.
Yeah.
Not as good as Trent, but he gets forward better than Trent, in my opinion. He's more of an attacking threat than Trent.
Yeah.
Defensively better than Trent.
Yep.
And I think he does... Obviously, no one's as good as Walker on the run back. But I don't know. For me, he's the best. He is the best right back in the world.
Closest to a complete package.
That's what we need, baby.
Why is he not in the England squad?
Well, because man's played like one full game in about 30
years. It'd be funny if he got to the England squad and got injured again. But he was the one that assisted Raheem Sterling for Chelsea's second. And then Akanji, just before half-time, gets a headed equaliser. And we're going to half-time 2-2 and we're thinking...
This is set for a boring second half.
Everybody needs to calm the fuck down. Normally Pep would kind of stink up the game after this, just defend and get like a last minute winner, which is what we thought happened when Rodri got the goal to make it 3-2. But Cole Palmer against his former club, making it 4-4.
Stepped up. Big the cojones on the man.
The guy's different, mate.
Mate, he's so young, and I rate it so much. For me, he is that guy.
Yeah, let's talk about
I don't really have
Cole
much
Palmer.
more to say. When he was at City, he was always played out on that right wing sort of.
Yeah, right
whenever,
or left wing,
I don't know. We saw it in the Community Shield. We've seen it a couple of times in the season beforehand. Some sort of cameo appearances. Scored in the Community Shield, was fantastic with the England youth set up in the Euros win.
Yep.
For me, it was a strange letting go from Man City. But I think
Apparently, he told Pep that he just wanted to leave.
I think that's what we'll come to find is that he wanted to leave, and this is why he's proven it. He's proven it on the biggest stage against his old club.
Yeah, he
didn't look phased. He stepped up, and it was a fantastic finish. The 95th minute?
Yeah, he's got a bit about him.
Mental. And yeah, he's such a good player. He's left-footed player.
Yep.
Which makes it difficult for me to envision him in the England team taking over maybe Bukayo Saka's place. But I don't know if he plays in that 10 role in England.
He doesn't play in the 10 role, I don't think.
You can't have a midfield of Rice, Bellingham and him.
No. But you could have a midfield of another Chelsea player that I want to talk about, Conor Gallagher.
Yeah, he had a very good game. 2
assists for him on the day. And does he have a shout for getting into this England team? Because
I mean, he's in the team.
It's evident that Gareth Southgate doesn't want to take the handbrake off and play Jude and a Maddison or Jude and a Foden. He wants to play Jude as the number 10 and have 2 kind of sitting 6s or 8s, whatever you want to call them. So it's always going to be Rice and people talking about Calvin Phillips, but I think he's got to a stage now where he's not in the team enough that if someone does come in,
mate, if he can't get in the team over Kovacic, who I think been absolutely stinky for Man City.
So bad.
He is. I think we saw him celebrating a Chelsea penalty.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Do you see the part where Cole Palmer went to listen to the Man City huddle?
Yeah,
that was funny.
But for me, Kovacic stinks. And if you can't get into that Man City, I didn't mind Kovacic at Chelsea.
Yeah,
but he's very solid, very consistent. Think the Man City the lifestyle is not for him.
No,
probably is less suited for Calvin Phillips, but I think Calvin Phillips offers you more. If you can't get into that Man City team,
yeah, Pep doesn't want him there, does he?
We still have a long time to go till the Euros. We have January transfer window. If Phillips gets a move and he can prove that he's got it in him still, and I think we know he can do it. He was fantastic for England in past tournaments. I remember that game against Croatia in the group stages of the Euros. Yeah, because and I think it was a 1-1 draw or a 0-0 draw, but he was fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, him and Rice would be the best combination to release Bellingham, to unleash him.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've seen it before as well. Gallagher's not as good in that 6. Like when he was really good at Palace and had this sort of massive breakthrough season, he was playing in their 10 role.
Yeah, and that's kind of why he is doing so well at Chelsea at the moment, because he's got that kind of free role in front of Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez to kind of do the dog work that Cole Palmer doesn't necessarily want to do. And that's why I really like what Conor Gallagher is doing at the moment. Yeah.
But yeah, for me, he's in the squad. Time will tell. It'll be interesting to see how it works out. But Cole Palmer, it's just outrageous. I thought Mikhail Mudryk was decent when he came on. Yeah. Nicholas Jackson.
He's a weird one, isn't he?
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I'm actually not. I still think you stink.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how to...
But yeah, he obviously buzzing after getting 3 of the easiest goals you'll ever score against a 9-man Tottenham Hotspur. His movement today looked more controlled. His movement on Sunday looked more controlled. He looked like he was thinking about his runs more than just making runs for the sake of it. Looked more composed in the box. Looked to build the play more, sort of be that backboard to build off of. I still don't think he's the man.
No, I saw a tweet today. It was like Osimhen has 2 potential Premier League favourites, Man United and Chelsea. And where should he go? And it's definitely got to be Chelsea. I think.
But they both signed like
a striker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I think Nicholas Jackson was signed to be a backup.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like when Nkunku comes back, is he going to play in that second role next to Cole Palmer?
Yeah, everyone forgets about Nkunku,
because he'll be back by January, and he's going to be. I think he's going to be electric. I think he's such a. We know what he was about in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, he's a player.
I think him and is it Nicholas? Is it Fulkrug and him shared the golden boot last season on 16 goals, and Harry Kane's got 17.
Yeah, I know. Harry Kane
might be better. Like we've been saying this for a long time.
Yeah,
much better player than Haaland.
100%.
But is he a better goal scorer than Haaland?
Bundesliga is a wash league, to be fair. So
yeah, but Harry Kane played for a wash team.
Yeah, that's true.
Interesting. I don't think Nicholas Jackson's the guy, although he had a better performance this game.
Yeah. So what does this mean for Man City? That's dropped points again.
Still top of the league, baby.
Let's talk about the title race. So Top of league, we've got Manchester City.
Second place.
Liverpool.
So we've got Man City. I think it's on 28 points. I'll get the factual table up here. Man City on 28 points.
Then Arsenal and Liverpool.
Arsenal, Liverpool on 27 points. Liverpool with one better goal difference. Arsenal's goal difference is 16, by the way. Spurs are a point behind with only a 9 goal difference.
Stinky. And then is it Villa and then Man United on a minus goal difference in 5th?
Villa
Or 4th?
Villa are 5th, 3 points off Man City.
That's mad.
We are 12 games into the season. That is nuts.
I saw Jamie Carragher say, is Unai Emery the 3rd best manager in the Premier League?
What, behind Pep and Gary O'Neill?
Shut up, Gary. We're going to talk about you in a minute.
I love Gary O'Neill, man.
Behind Pep and Klopp.
Yeah, Man United.
Where do you stand on that? Unai Emery, 3rd best behind Pep and Klopp. Because, like, if I take my Arteta tinted glasses off, I might have to say yeah. But, like, is that just because he has, like, career longevity over
It's too soon to tell.
Arteta?
It's too soon to tell because we've forgotten how it's very easy to forget off the back of a lot of injuries for them, how Eddie Howe's gotten Newcastle to the Champions League. Yeah.
I don't think you could put Eddie in there,
mate, they were relegation candidates to Christmas he came in.
I don't think you could put him in top 10 or not top 10, that's rude, but top 5 because I think you need to be exposed to European competition to be in there. Like we're seeing so far how he's handled European competition. Apart from the win against PSG, they're bottom of the table. Like, is that
they're
something?
Still in.
They're still in. But
For
is that
me,
something we need to look at?
It's going to take a little bit of longevity.
It's Arteta or Unai, isn't it, for 3rd place?
Oh, I don't know.
Because who else is there?
De Zerbi,
but like, has he done enough? And I want to talk about De Zerbi after. I haven't actually got them here. Another poor result on the weekend. I don't know where they are in the league, but we had them touted for like European Champions League push. They mid-table?
Yeah, they're 8th.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Man United rounding out the top 6 in 6th place, funny enough, with a -3 goal difference.
That reeks.
And I'm not being funny here, but I'm more worried for them than Chelsea.
Oh yeah, I think Chelsea are gonna push.
1-0 win against Luton, 1-0 win against Fulham, lost 3-0 in the cup to Newcastle, then lost 3-0 to City, 2-1 against Sheffield United, 2-1 against Brentford. It's just, they are scraping by the skin of their teeth.
And we say it every single pod. They haven't dominated a game of football in God knows how long.
I mean, they beat Palace 3-0 in the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup. For me,
let's talk about the title race.
I've heard a lot of chat about who this title race is actually between. And obviously the 3 main candidates now, Man City obviously going to be in there, Liverpool and Arsenal. Liverpool.
What's happened to Spurs? Come on, everybody was gassing them. Yeah. You were gassing them.
Yeah. But
where are they now?
They were sat on the top of the table for until that Chelsea game.
Yeah.
And the knock-on effect from that game is mean they're missing Van de Ven, who's been their best defender.
Palpable.
I think they started with back to Ben Davies and Eric Dyer.
That honks, yeah.
And they've lost probably their best player of the season, James Maddison.
And both of them till the new year as well, which is rough.
So for me, you got to play with the cards you're dealt with, and a squad like Man City would probably be able to deal with that. But just Spurs.
Spurs fans were laughing at Arsenal when we said injuries cost us last season. Here we are now.
They probably did cost you last season.
They did. How the turntables.
But yeah, for me, Man City obviously are going to be the head and away favourites. They've got the demonic goal scorer up top. They've got Doku, who's in scintillating form.
But
they've got Julian Alvarez.
How many games have they lost this season? 3 games?
2 or 3?
Wolves, us, and another game?
I don't know.
They are beatable.
I will find out. They've lost 2 games.
Okay.
But Liverpool have lost 1 game, which was the dodgy Spurs game.
And we've lost 1, which was the dodgy Newcastle game. Let's go. But yeah, I put a bet on at the beginning of the season. Arsenal to win the league. Man City 2nd. Liverpool 3rd. I think that's still cooking a little bit.
I mean, it's still possible with 12 games in.
Yeah.
But yeah, Man City, I think, will be favourites. I think Arsenal are bigger favourites to finish 2nd or maybe challenge Man City, in my opinion. They're more a complete unit at the minute.
Yeah, I'm still unsure about Liverpool. Every time I watch them, I'm kind of like, ooh.
I think Endo was lucky to stay
I think you're missing some players still. Like, the defence still doesn't fill me with
Van Dijk had a very good game.
Confidence. Like, against Luton,
Oh yeah,
I was just like, Trent's getting rinsed, the midfield's getting played through so easily, and I don't know. I still think they're missing kind of a sitting midfielder. I don't know if they get Calvin Phillips, if that fixes that problem.
I don't think he's like the number 6 they need.
No, definitely
They
not.
need
But
they
it's
need
better
like
than fucking
they
having
need
no one.
maybe like a Rice or something. I know they're not easy to come with. That's why he's a £100 million player, but they need someone in
That's
that
why he's
ilk.
my boy, man.
But yeah, Liverpool for me, Endo was so lucky to stay on that pitch against Brentford. I felt never really feel sorry for him, but Thomas Frank
Yeah,
felt a little bit sorry for him because he had a bit of a shout. Liverpool weren't, but they didn't by any means blow Brentford away. But they've got such attacking talent. I think Nunez had 2 goals disallowed in the first half, and then Salah ended up getting 2 goals out of nowhere from literally nothing. One of them was literally a Simicast cross, and the ball nearly crossed over the line. It didn't. It was another Anthony Gordon incident.
Come on.
But the ball didn't. Ben Mee just didn't play on because he thought it went out,
Salah.
and Salah was at the back post and just gave a little.
Yeah,
to the back
that's
of
his 200th Premier League goal.
He's a monster, isn't he?
Is he the best winger to ever play in the Premier League?
Oh yeah.
Do you reckon?
Ooh, well,
If we're not calling Henry a winger.
Yeah, I don't know. I
'Cause
mean,
people say like Cristiano Ronaldo, but I think he's
but if you look at like obviously Cristiano Ronaldo is the better all-time player than Mo Salah.
Yeah.
But if you look at what they've done for the Premier League, if you look at their time spent in the Premier League, you got to give longevity as well. Like I know Ronaldo was here shorter time, Henry was here shorter time, but Salah's doing it season after season.
Salah's
even
elite.
when Liverpool's stinking up.
In arguably a tougher league at a tougher time.
Oh mate, 100%. I mean, that's it. That's the nail on the head. He's
Shout out
such
Mo
a
Salah.
guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, Liverpool are always going to be there or thereabouts. Last season, I think, was a blip. I think their midfield is actually worse than last season.
I agree.
Gravenberch's starting to grow on me a bit. Szoboszlai, I
Think he's ball up.
day one.
McAllister, I said from day one, I'm unsure about this signing.
It's weird though because they're playing him as a 6 half the time, and he's not a 6. I don't
Why sign him and just instead spend that 40-50 mil on a better?
think they were sort of hoping to rotate him, Szoboszlai,
Yeah,
and
maybe.
then have like Elliott off the bench or Curtis Jones on the bench and have Fabinho behind.
I just don't think he has enough of that kind of star quality to be in that Liverpool midfield.
Mate, he's a World Cup winning. He played like every minute of the World Cup.
Yeah, but there's some dons that get a World Cup trophy and
Christian Romero.
Yeah, exactly, and they're donuts. But no, he's all right. I just don't think he's enough to like
He's
dictate that
definitely not
Liverpool
what they
midfield.
need.
Like I think maybe they signed him as kind of Thiago's phasing out. Can you do what Thiago does? Dictate the game, link midfield, and
The only thing he does is similar to Thiago is get a yellow card every game.
and be from South America. But yeah, I don't know. It's just he's not doing it enough for me. But like we said, with that front line, when you got fucking goal machine Salah, Darwin Nunez, who's pure chaos, Jota and Luis Diaz, who both do
Jota
similar
was
like
classy this
accessory
game.
role. Yeah, they're good.
Classy. And yeah, it was Liverpool. They'll just do it. They will score goals
They'll be in the
because,
title race.
like you say, the firepower they got up front. They probably have the most firepower in their like attacking lineup.
Pound for pound, yeah.
Oh mate, I think even more than Man City.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I
Because
think
City,
between
in
Salah-
the nicest way, it is just Haaland, isn't it? Really?
It's Haaland and maybe Alvarez.
Yeah.
Like Doku, I don't think he's going to get you like 10 more goals a season. He'll
Nah.
get you a few assists.
Doc will drop like
Feed
a
Haaland.
hat trick against Bournemouth and then not much.
Yeah,
else.
and
same as
Grealish,
Grealish.
you know his output is not the best.
Crap.
And then Foden, his output's falling off. I know he occasionally pops up with a couple hat tricks,
Yeah.
and then that's his season sort of. I don't know. For me, Liverpool pound for pound most out firing team, and if they can get a back line that's solid again, I know they're missing Robertson, which is a big miss for them. Van Dijk had a really good game. I think
Trent doesn't know how to defend.
Yeah, Trent needs to learn how to defend.
Alisson's still best keeper in the world.
Oh, by far,
Mate. Even in that
Gomez-
Luton game, he was crazy.
Joe Gomez was never the same after that injury.
Yeah.
That initial injury after, because he had like a really good run. The team-
Canate, everybody been sucking him off, but he's dipped a little bit.
Yeah, but he's just come back from an injury.
They had the nerve to compare him to Rolls Royce Saliba.
But yeah, I think a couple of additions in January.
Yeah.
And
They could be cooking.
mainly that defensive midfielder. They just need to go out and drop a fat 100 and just get. But the problem is, who is there?
I think it actually might end up being Calvin Phillips. I don't know, but he needs to get playing football again, and maybe under Klopp, I can see him doing a little something.
If Calvin Phillips, if it's Newcastle going in for him, they're probably getting for like 40 million.
As a like Sandro Tonali alternative, yeah.
If it's Liverpool going in for him and
yeah.
it's 60 million, 65 million. And
Yeah, although City have never been the team to kind of drive a hard bargain to other Premier League teams. They kind of will, if a player wants to leave, which Cole Palmer did, which Calvin Phillips clearly, I think, will. Even like Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko, we didn't get absolutely fleeced for them.
No, the problem is for me though, like I don't think you were under. There wasn't any other teams in for him.
Yeah,
but I can imagine Newcastle coming in.
Yeah, they could do
imagine
a little bit
like
more.
maybe even not Man United. I don't think.
Aston Villa. No, they got
probably
quite
Chelsea. They'll probably be in for him.
Come on.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
maybe Villa, but I think Douglas Luiz and McGinn and
So Liverpool are in the title race. Arsenal ticking by nicely. I think everyone.
who's going to fill out that fourth spot?
Well,
for me, the top three are the top three.
I agree. Let's talk about Spurs. They lost 2-1 to Gary O'Neill's Wolves.
Late on.
So they started the game. Spurs started the game strong. Everybody was like, "Oh, how are Spurs going to bounce back with this massively rotated team?" Like we were saying, Ben Davis and Eric Dyer in the defence. Pape Matar Sarr played in that Madison role with Hojberg and Basuma behind him. Brennan Johnson came in, who I thought had a good game.
Brennan Johnson, I think he'll go on to be like a really shrewd signing for them.
And he is so much better than Richarlison, like by a country mile. So
yeah.
So they started really strong. Brennan Johnson scored in like the second minute, and I was like, "Oh, they might still cook."
Even lacking Madison for me, their front three of Son, Kulusevski, and Brennan Johnson is decent enough.
Yeah.
That'll
Beat
take you past
bad
most teams.
Yeah.
If you have a midfield for me of Basuma, Bentancur, and maybe Sarr,
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's enough creativity there to, and it's legs as well. Maybe you let Bentancur do a bit more roaming and sort of like look for those special passes. I think that's fine. If you have a centre back pairing of Ben Davies and Eric Dyer, I am sorry.
Honks.
I am sorry, but you should be nowhere near the top 10.
Yeah, that is genuinely like relegation team.
Mate, I can imagine Luton playing a back two like that.
Luton's back line's better than that.
So for me, yeah, that stinks. Udogi's a big miss.
He is, yeah.
But they're lucky that there's an international break now. I think Udogi's gonna miss one more game. Oh no, it was double yellow, right?
Yeah.
So
Udogi was a double yellow.
So I think he's back next game. And then so Van der Ven out to the new year. Madison, we don't know how long. I think it's not as serious as first thought.
I thought it was more serious than first thought.
Ooh.
I think it's till the new year as well.
But yeah, and then Romero, obviously, he's a donut.
Big donut, bozo boy. Yeah. Let's talk about Wolves, because Gary O'Neill's got this Wolves side playing some very exciting football, putting up some very exciting results. Let me run you through their last 6 games. So they beat Man City 2-1. Then they drew
the Korean guy.
With a Korean guy. Shout out the Korean guy. He's the true Korean guy. Fuck you, Son.
I got him in my fantasy.
Yeah, come
on. And he done well last week. I think he got me an assist.
Mm.
It was like once Pedro Neto's out of there,
he'll be the guy.
He's going to be the main man. But last game,
that's all right. It's a hard game. Then they drew 1-1 against high-flying Aston Villa. Good result. And then they beat Bournemouth 2-1.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's a good result.
Expected. But that was the O'Neill derby.
That was the O'Neill derby.
There's more on the line there.
2-2 against high-flying Newcastle.
That's a good result.
Very good result.
And they were unlucky that game. They got done dirty by VAR.
And then lost 2-1 against the worst team in the league in Sheffield United.
Got done dirty by VAR. Should have come away with a draw. But
and
also, you got to give him. You got to say, should be beating them comfortably.
Oh yeah, 100%. And then beat Spurs 2-1. So they've got 1 loss, 3 wins, and 2 draws from their last 6.
They lost to the worst team.
And they lost to the worst team.
They beat the best team, lost to the worst team, and then
draw against a lot of hard teams or beat hard teams.
Yeah,
he's putting up a good little team here.
I'm all here for the Church of Gary O'Neill.
We are.
He is. We said this last season, yeah.
Respect him.
Respect the guy. Respect the man. He knows what he's doing. He's a QPR legend, and therefore he knows what he's doing.
So he's got a place here on the podcast whenever he wants. I think I like the way he got his team play. And I thought this when he was at Bournemouth as well. He just made the team hard to beat as like a foundation, and then you go on and you focus on making sure you can break down teams. But as long as you're hard to
discredit here, because I think he's really underrated in terms of how he actually works tactically. But yeah, like you say, I think it's very easy to judge him as like a motivational manager. But he has systems to play. I think like you say, makes his teams really hard to beat, but he lets his attacking players do what they want to do.
Well, he hopped on Sky Sports a couple of weeks ago and was running Jamie Carragher through his tactics on how to beat the Bournemouth team. And he was talking about how he'd I'm sure if you were watching the interview, this will make sense. But he was talking about how he would get players in his team like Lamina to drop deep. That would pull Bournemouth's Philip Billing in. And then he'd have a triangle of rotation behind Philip Billing. And yeah, the way he was explaining it, and obviously at this level, you are an astute manager that has high level tactics. But I was just thinking, this guy is kind of being shrugged off for bigger things for Bournemouth when maybe he got a bit of a hard deal.
Yeah, I think Bournemouth fans, come the end of the season, might rue their decision.
Right now, Bournemouth fans, would you take Gary O'Neill back?
Bournemouth off the back of a good result, though.
Yeah, they are back off of a good result. But
So, yeah, for me, Gary O'Neill is the greatest manager of all time.
let's go.
In shout for the England job.
Inshallah.
Yes. Where are we going next? Oh, let's talk about, before we got sidetracked, the top four. Who's in that fourth space? We've got Spurs, Man United, Newcastle, Villa.
Oh, there's a lot, I'm going to say Chelsea. And that goes against my pre-season predictions. I had them and Spurs quite low. I think I had them 7th and 8th. I do reckon Spurs are going to tail off this season. I thought that without the injuries that they had. I think the tail off now is going to be a bit more abrupt and savage.
Yeah.
But I think...
The problem is, though, if Chelsea can't figure out how to beat the worst teams in the league...
There are more worse teams than there are good teams, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think more, like you say, more of their points this season be picked up against the top six than...
Yeah, you can't play the big six every week.
No, you can't.
Exactly.
You can't play Man City every weekend. It's
Yeah.
mental.
No,
I
I
they
reckon
can't figure out
Chelsea.
how to beat the Bournemouths, the Brentfords, the Sheffield Uniteds.
I reckon when January comes round and Kunku comes back and they get an Osherman, I think Chelsea are going to be a real problem.
Yeah, once they have someone who can put the chances away.
Could
Because
be
I think
crazy.
Chelsea have won most games on XG this season.
Yeah.
I don't really like to use XG a lot, but
No, yeah.
it is. You read into it somewhat, but interesting. I think I'd join you on that. Chelsea or Spurs for
Because
me.
for me,
I think Newcastle.
if we're talking Newcastle, Aston Villa, if they want to, not that Newcastle will go deep in the Champions League, I think they're going to struggle to get out of their group now. But Aston Villa, I think, are going to go deep in the Conference League and probably try and win it. And that, I think, will eventually kind of start to take its toll on their Premier League form. Although they, I think, 13 wins on the bounce at home, which is good.
That's not bad.
You will take it.
But yeah, I think I don't know. I have a bit of faith in Poch. I think Chelsea have just got too much quality throughout that team to not. I think Man United are in big trouble. Ten Hag,
yeah, it's mad that we're
Hag's
not even considering them.
Considering that they've won a couple games in a row now, and
Yeah.
they haven't played very well. They went and lost to Copenhagen in the Champions League.
Yeah.
They're looking dire circumstances in that, but I don't know. They're winning.
Might benefit them to drop out of the Champions League, but then they get Europa. I don't know. It's interesting. I think it's gonna be. I think. This season, I don't think they're getting anywhere close.
This season, we've got a real title race on our hands, and I hope Man City don't just end up walking away with it by the time March comes around.
Yeah.
But, it'd be interesting as well. We've got African Cup of Nations happening in January, which...
0 players from Manchester City go to AFCON.
Arsenal have a couple.
Yeah, we got a couple. Thomas Partey, who's in and out of fitness anyway. I think that's it.
Is that it?
Yeah, it might be it.
And then Liverpool, obviously, Mo Salah.
Mo Salah's a huge one.
Who else they got in there?
Is that it? Matip?
Yeah. Matip's Cameroon. Yeah. He's Cameroon are in Africa.
Chelsea, who they got?
They've got Senegal Jackson.
Yeah.
They'll
probably be buzzing to lose him.
Ooh. Yeah, I think... Oh, it's not as bad as I thought then.
No, it's not as
It's
bad.
not as bad as I thought. But yeah, I mean, that'll be interesting. That always throws up a curveball. I mean, Liverpool, obviously, Mo Salah is
that's the big one, isn't
that's
it?
the massive one.
Yeah.
But they do have the likes of Jota, Diaz,
Darwin
Nunez.
Nunez,
But Salah is the guy. Salah is the guy.
He is.
Anything else you want to bring up?
Sponsor us. We're growing moustaches for Movember. Shout out men's mental health. It's a big topic all the time. It should be.
And November's also about men's prostates.
Which is also a big topic, and it should be.
So yeah,
sponsor us. We're doing great. We're trying to raise some money for a good cause. Look at the tashes. Appreciate them. If you can't see us because you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, go take a look at our YouTube and comment, I've come here from Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
that would be very much appreciated. Yeah, we are living our lives with the moustache. I don't know how guys who do this every day do it, but
I'm getting used to it, you know.
when I take a look in the mirror, I don't even recognize myself.
Jeez.
But yeah, if you do want to sponsor us, we greatly appreciate it. If you can't or you're unable to for whatever reason, if you just hit a share, it's
That's
always
what we
a
need.
massive help.
Eyes on the cause is always good.
Exactly. Just spreading the word of it is the main part, really. So yeah, if you do want to just hit it with a share, that would be greatly appreciated. You can share our beautiful faces across your social media platforms. That would be brilliant.
Oh, we're also doing a EAFC 24 giveaway as a big celebration for us hitting 5k subscribers.
We've just hit 6k.
We actually have just hit 6k. Comment right now. Congrats on 6k.
Yeah, we'd appreciate that. If you
That'd
do
be
want to
sick.
get involved,
Yeah, let them know.
check out down below. We'll have all the competition details as well on our Instagram. It'll be over
And
there
on our
as well.
Twitter. It's
And on Twitter.
very easy. All you got to do is whatever social media you have, Insta or Twitter. We have a post about the giveaway. Just like that post. Tag 2 mates that you want to play FIFA with, that you smash on FIFA. Tag those 2 pals, and that's it. You're entered.
That is literally it. It's simple as. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. This is BoreDraw, episode number 71, and it's live.
Fuck you, international break.